Your name?
Hi, my name is Betty Davis.
Betty Davis. Okay, let's talk about the message. I mean, the city is starting to arrest you guys, and you guys are not moving. You're disabled. What's the story?
Yeah, I'm disabled. They take put in applications everywhere. We did all that. It's all it is a waiting game. A waiting game. We have nowhere to go. I mean, I'm really stressing behind. This is my new family out here. We watch each other's back. If they was to put us out in the street, they're jeopardizing us to be robbed, raped, car come by, kill us, run us over.
What kind of disability you have?
What disability?
What?
I got in a car accident 2.5 months ago. My back's messed up. My knee's messed up. It's hard for me to get up and down from the tent. I'm disabled for life, my back.
So you're staying here no matter what on July 10 after
I'm
the
staying here. I mean, if they want to take me to jail, they're going to take the tree with me.
We're here today at Sherwood Park because the city is having the people leave on the 10th of July, and they're not offering resources other than the sidewalk. They're saying that people can sleep on the sidewalk, and we think that we're worth more than being able to, and being allowed to sleep on the sidewalks. We've lost lots of property here. We just think that the city should be fair and help out and do what they say they're supposed to do.
Leslie, what's it? Introduce yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, my name is Wes White. I'm president of Salinas Monterey County Homeless Union, as well as Rita Acosta, co-president. We're here because there's going to be a citation arrest decree that starts on July 10, which is on Wednesday morning. And I mean, there's absolutely nowhere for people to go. People need to be somewhere. The city promises that they're going to provide people services. Those services have not been forthcoming. And the only service they have is get up and get out, which is it's not conducive to a healthy environment, especially for poor people. And it's really upsetting because people are dying outside, and the city is actually exacerbating that problem by saying one thing and doing an opposite, treating people like worse than garbage, vermin, and it's just. You can't just drain people into money.
Okay, well, I'll say a couple things. My name is Anthony Prince. I'm also a member of the Homeless Union, California Homeless Union. I'm also general counsel. That is the chief legal representative. And we'll hear from some of the other people who've been living in this park in a moment. But I want to point out a couple of things. Number one, there's only one reason why the city is taking this action, and that is that they are totally subservient to the rodeo. These, as far as we understand it, these notices are being posted only in Sherwood Park, even though the city claims that it's now going to strictly enforce the ordinance that they have not been strictly enforcing, and they're announcing it citywide. The fact of the matter is that these notices are only going up in Sherwood Park. Why? Because the rodeo is supposed to begin here in a few days. That's the sole reason why they want to clear out homeless people from this park. Even though my understanding is the rodeo itself will not take place in this park. It will take place in the stadium and other locations here. Why are they kicking people out of the park? Because they don't want the hundreds of people who come to the rodeo to know that there's homeless people in the city of Salinas. They want to make it an invisibility. But the price that's being paid, as Wes and as Rita pointed out, are people are going to be kicked out of here with no place to go. The city is not being honest. On their notice, it says that beginning June 6th through July 10th, that people here in this park can apply immediately to get housing at Moongate Plaza. Moongate Plaza will not even be open for occupancy until at least October or November. Also, we went on the website of Moongate Plaza, and Penn, which is the owner of Moongate Plaza, and applications are no longer being accepted as of June 23rd. So the city is falsely representing that right up until July 10th, people here could sign up for housing at Moongate Plaza, when in fact the deadline is already exhausted June 23rd. So the city's not being honest. Then the city says that even if you can't find a place in a shelter or at Moongate, you will be allowed to sleep on the sidewalk, on the street, in the so-called public right-of-way. But the public right-of-way is dangerous. You guys know, we had people, I have clippings right here, that we had people involved in hit-and-run accidents. We had a guy who was, during the sweep, was just miraculously saved from death because he was dumped by a skip loader. They didn't even realize that he was in there. He narrowly escaped death. We haven't forgotten that in 2003, a homeless person in Salinas was set on fire and killed here in the city of Salinas. Those are some of the dangers out there on the street. So the city can say, well, you're okay, you can just sleep on the public right-of-way. The public right-of-way is danger. And there's a legal concept called the danger creation, state-created danger. By kicking these people out of this park, primarily women, as you can see, primarily women, kicking them out of this park, they are saying, we're going to put you over here, but it's a more dangerous place. If the state would just, if the city of Salinas would leave people alone, that's one thing. But by kicking them out and then forcing them to be on the street, they're putting them at risk for greater harm, especially women. We have women here in this park who have been victims of sexual assault. We have people in this park who have been raped and are here to seek protection from their rapist. If they were out back on the street, they would be at risk for possible assault, sexual assault, violence, or theft. It is intolerable that the city of Salinas will lay down and roll out the red carpet for the California Rodeo people and kick people out of this park, who most of whom have spent their lives right here in Salinas, who built this city, who have worked every day, and half the people in this park are still working every day to take care of people not just in the park, but take care of members of the general public.
And also, when they say we can sleep in the right of way, it's just sleep out there. We'll be without our tent, so we'll be just out in the open. That's pretty scary for women, just to be sleeping out in the open with no tent, no nothing. I mean, I don't understand how the city of Salinas could allow that to happen and to be okay with it. They want us to be okay with them allowing us to sleep on the sidewalk. You know, and they say rich in values. Where's the rich in values? Aren't we human beings? Aren't we part of the community still? You know, I just think that Salinas needs to step up and do what they say they're going to do. You know, we have people here dying all the time. Also, if you look around, you see the tents are all down. If you look at any other tent community, tent camp, Chinatown, everybody has their tents up. We get told every single day to take the tents down, whether it's rain, sun, whatever. We have to be without our tents from 7 to 7. You know, and again, we go to meetings, we hear that there's always homeless inside the hospitals and stuff. Well, we're always in the hospital because look where we're at. And two, they don't allow us to be in our tents. We have to be outside in the rain, and, you know, and there is no place for people to go during the daytime. So we're going to be able to sleep on the street from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. What are we supposed to do during the day? Just run around holding our back? They want us just to be with a backpack on us? You know, we're not mules, we're human beings. It takes a toll. Betty here has been in a car accident. She can't even hold a backpack on her back. Her doctor said that's just too much for her back. You know, and I mean, everybody here has different stories. Same thing. Bed rest for a month. You know, and she had to postpone her operation until next year because you can't sleep on the sidewalk and have surgery. You know, and she really, really needs her surgery, and she has to postpone it because, like I said, even before the lady came to sign me up people for Moongate, here at Sherwood, we were doing it together already. We do things already on our own. People here are waiting for the Social Security to kick in, for the disability to kick in, for whatever it is. People are already signed up. Here we take care of everything on our own. You know, we don't go to Chinatown to go eat. We all find a way to get our food here. We all eat together as a family, together, feel safe. We're not going to be safe on the street. We're not going to be safe, you know, sleeping at a corner or over here and over there. And two, don't we have a right to choose where we sleep? They're going to allow us to sleep where they want us to. So again, I mean, rich in values, I don't see it. I don't see it.
I think what we're seeing here is that for the city of Salinas, they only value the rich. They're not rich in values, they only value the rich. This is a money-making proposition, both for the rodeo and for the city of Salinas. And so that takes priority over the human rights of people here who are poor and homeless through no fault of their own. You notice that Rita, who's co-president, along with Wes of the Salinas Homeless Union, and we have most of the people standing right here are members of the Salinas Homeless Union. And we feel that that's another motive for the city. The city knows that these are union members, homeless union members here. Rita Acosta is a well-known champion for homeless and poor people here. And so that we feel that by targeting this park in particular, the city, either by design or will have the effect of trying to inhibit the work of the homeless union. They're not going to stop the homeless union, I'll tell you that right now. No matter what happens, they break up the people in this park, they disperse people far and wide. We continue to grow. We will continue to organize poor and homeless people. I would tell the public, the members of the general public, this could be you. This could be you. In the last 2 years, there's been a 57% increase in homelessness in the city of Salinas. Why? Because people are losing their jobs, they're losing their homes, they're sleeping in their cars, they're sleeping in their RVs, they're sleeping in the parks, and the kids are sleeping in the schools. People are sleeping in storage units. People are sleeping in abandoned railroad cars. This is an economic crisis. And so for the members of the public watching this could be you tomorrow. The people in this scene right here are working class people who spent their entire lives working. Am I right about that?
Yes.
They built this city, they built this country. It could happen to you. So if you think that this won't impact you as a member of the general public, think again. Check out the economic situation. 47% of everyone in America is only one paycheck, one medical crisis, one emergency of one kind or another away from becoming homeless. All right?
And it's not that, and it's not that we want tents, because it's not that we want tents. We have no choice. We're trying to put a roof over our head. Tent is simpler than we can't get a house right now. And to say that we just want to be here because it's easy, it's not easy living in a tent. I'm a grandmother. I can't be a grandmother from a tent. You know, I have an old life that's waiting for me to get back to get my own place. And so all of us have lives we would like to get back to.
Go ahead. Introduce yourself.
I'm Crystal. I live here too. Would be a smart idea, I think, if, I think they should have us work to stay here or something. Like the Rodeo's coming, why can't we volunteer to park the cars? Why can't they just have us work the Rodeo to stay right here? I don't understand what's the big problem. It'll help them out a lot. Or they could pay us if they want to. It doesn't really matter, But we'd be more than happy to work for them just to stay right here. We're not infectious people. We're regular people just like they are.
Human
but
beings.
They're going to kick us out of here just because they want to party for 1 week. I'm sure, like I said, we'll do whatever they want us to do. We'll volunteer. They could put us in the back. They're going to park the cars right here. We'll be more than happy to pick up our tents and move to the back if that's what it's going to take, just so we can stay right here. We'll park the cars, we'll do the doors, we'll do whatever, clean up. We'll clean up this whole place after they're done. It doesn't matter. But we just want to stay right here. We don't want to stay here forever or nothing like that. Believe me, we're going to get out of here
But
eventually.
it's safe here.
This is not our homes. This is where we're at in the meantime.
And that's kind of what we are demanding is, if we can't be here, there needs to be a place for people to be. The tents is not that good, but it is something. And the city needs to work with people. Look at how compliant everybody has been to all these rules. They have organized space. Their pee, poo, trash, and food is in its place, especially when the bathrooms are actually open. So we're not. The city is not being compliant, and yet the people are being very compliant. They're very careful, and that's how come the 7 to 7 became a rule, because they're just too neat and tidy. They can't. They can't find a reason, so they're like, well, then we're going to make another reason. If we can't make money off of you by you giving us money, we're going to make money off of you by putting you in jail, by giving you a ticket. This is a racket. It's the worst gang in America.
They're really going to put us in jail for not having a home? I don't understand. What if it was their mother, their grandmother, their kids forgot, for God's sake, like, what if it was one of them? And then what? One of these sweep workers brought one of their kids to work with them. Is that what you want your children to see? Is you ripping what they got left out of the other people's hands? Is that what you want your kids to learn? Oh yeah, let's go take whatever else they got left. And their kids sitting there watching that. Like I don't understand how that. How is that? To me, that's like you treating your kid like an animal. It's like that's the dog sitting in the passenger side or something. That's not. That's not how you want to bring your kids up.
Right. You know, and one. So I think we'll maybe take some questions. You guys have some questions. We appreciate the media coming out to hear our position. But I will tell you that we're going to hold the city of Salinas absolutely responsible if any harm should befall anyone who's put out and evicted from this camp, because they are creating a danger. They are creating the conditions worse. They're making it. They're putting people in this park presently who have a community. There is safety here. Tell me if I'm wrong. There's been no assaults. People have been taking care of each other. People are safe here. It's primarily women. If they're evicted and the city can only say sleep on the street, sleep on the sidewalk, sleep on the freeway overpass, and any harm comes to people in the form of violence or a detriment to their health, or their things are stolen, or they're the victims of vigilantism, which we see anti-homeless vigilantism growing everywhere across California, then the city of Salinas will be legally responsible for having put these women and these homeless people into a more risky, into a more dangerous situation than they have presently. What the city of Salinas is trying to do is they're trying to make an end run around Martin versus Boise. What they're trying to say is, well, we're not saying you can't sleep out on the sidewalk or the street or the freeway overpass. We're not going to arrest you or cite you if you do that. And so they're trying to say, well, we're compliant with Martin versus Boise. Martin versus Boise says that unless you have alternative indoor shelter, you cannot criminalize a person, a homeless person, or any person for being in the public, for doing in public what they would ordinarily do if they had traditional housing. So the city's trying to evade that. They're trying to narrowly kind of weave their way through the needle here and say, oh, no, we're compliant with Martin versus Boise because we're going to let these people sleep on the street. We won't cite them and arrest them. But the problem is the on the sidewalk
and the people
would obstruct the sidewalk. So they could,
Okay, tell us so the message and the objective of this press conference. What's the message to the city?
The message we'd like to tell the city is
around Martin versus Boise. It's our position.
People here at Sherwood Park are not all, as they say, we're not all bad. We're not saying that everybody here is good people, but we all work together here. We all work together here. And if you look around, you'll see
look at this list.
We're organized here. And you know, for them to try to say that on the 10th that we'll be giving tickets and put in jail and stuff if we come back to the park.
7-year-old.
I don't know see how they can do that.
Here's there's only one
I mean, City of Salinas.
Half these shelters are closed.
We're part of Salinas. We're still part of the community here in Salinas. It might be the homeless community, but we're still part of the community.
So what's going to happen after July 1st? Where are you going to go if they decided to?
The 10th, you mean?
After the 10th.
After the 10th? Well, they're offering the sidewalk, and basically, I mean, if anybody had anywhere else to go, they wouldn't be here. If there was any resources for the people, they wouldn't be here. They keep telling people to go to the shelter, but we all know that's full. You know, and again, I have a dog. Mostly everybody here have pets, and the police tell us, well, why don't you try getting rid of your dog? I was like, I've had my dog for 14 years. I'm not getting rid of my pet. Well, then you must like living out here. No, it's not that I like living out here. I have no other choice.
Okay, so tell us about the rodeo. I mean, the whole objective that you guys think is that they're kicking you guys out because of rodeo?
Well, every year they do. They do have us move our things out for the rodeo, so this way they can park here and stuff. You know,
that could be used.
We're here. We have no money. They come. They have money in their pocket. They allow them to camp here. And two, they don't even know who they are. We're part of this
They allow
community.
rodeo people to park here?
To camp here also. They don't know who they are or where they come from, but they're allowed to camp here. You know, these are residents that lived here almost all their lives. I've lived here for over 50 years. And this area over there is empty all year round until the rodeo comes.
And let's talk about your case. This is home for you? This is safe for you?
This is not home for me. This is where I'm at. We're displaced. We're not homeless, yes, but displaced because we have no choice. Like I said, it's not that we want to be here.
But it's safe right here?
For us, yes. It's safer than going to sleep on the sidewalk. Because on the sidewalk, there's no tent. Here, at least we have our tent. We have our property with us. We have our pets. We have each other. I mean, yeah. And where are we going to use the restroom when we're sleeping on the sidewalk?
But what is the most difficult thing to be having the life you have? I mean, having a home, when it rains?
The way people look at us. we're still human beings because we don't have a place, because we don't have a house. I tell her, the ladies, don't be embarrassed. The city Salinas should be embarrassed. They should be embarrassed that they allow it to go this far. Instead of having sweeps and keep putting people out, they should use that money to put people in.
Amen.
You know, and again, we have a sweep here every Friday. Every Friday we have a sweep. I mean, at the beginning when they were, I'll say, attacking us, they were taking our property, not even that was on the park. We were across the street, over at a church,
Every Friday.
and they still come and take our property.
And let's talk about being homeless, the weather. What is the hardest
Well,
stuff? The weather, the
When it's
conditions.
raining, it's of course we get wet. But we're not able to stay in our tent from 7 p.m. until 7 a.m.
I think that
That's the only time. But during the day, we're out here, having to be in the rain. And if we don't get out of our tents and put our tents down, they call the
we've
police.
been at this a long time.
And then when they call the police, and it's well, you're not supposed to be here anyways. Okay, yeah, we know we're not supposed to be here, but this is where we're at. When Salinas gets a place for us, then maybe it'd be different. They said, well, we're going to build a shelter. Yay!
But what happened with that? Anthony was talking about that you guys can go to a certain location, but it's not open, it's not available. There's no shelter. I don't know if you mentioned some kind of shelter.
Well,
you guys can go. What are the options the city is giving to you?
Well, the city was talking, not the city. This woman that comes, Tina, she was saying that, what if they got a shelter together? We're like, okay, what if you got a shelter together? So it's still not done. It's still not happening. So we're talking about today and tomorrow. We don't have time for them to get their selves together, to get the process going. You know, and again, they always say, well, we're building a shelter on Laurel. Yay! But what about today and tomorrow? If they don't have places for people to go, they shouldn't be able to tell us to leave. I mean, if they can't put a roof over our head, don't stop us from putting one of our own. You know? But that's all we're saying is we're human beings, and
So what is the message to the city to let them stay here? What is the message that you have to the city?
if the city doesn't want people to be in tents all over the city, affordable housing. Affordable housing. Affordable housing. Affordable housing.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. You're a grandmother, you said?
Yeah, I'm a grandma of 15. Yeah, I have 5 kids and 15 grandkids.
How often do you see them?
Not very much because, yeah, I can't be grandma from here. And I'm very close with my grandkids, but I can't be grandma here.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Anthony Prince.
And you are the
I'm general counsel for the California Homeless Union.
can you come in, please? So what is the objective of this press conference this morning?
Well, this morning, what we've done here is alert the media and put the city of Salinas on notice. We, meaning the homeless union and our members who live here in Sherwood Park, that the city is putting people at risk. They intend to kick everyone out of here on July 10th. They're falsely making representations that they'll have housing at the Moongate Plaza. That is not the case. Application deadline's already passed for Moongate Plaza. In any event, that building won't even be ready for occupancy until November, October, November at the earliest. Second of all, they're telling people, well, you can sleep on the sidewalk and sleep on the freeway overpasses. By pushing people into those parts of the city, they put them at risk. This is a safe community. We're out here this morning to show that there's primarily women here. We have women here who have fled domestic violence. We have women here who have been assaulted when they were forced to camp individually in an isolated manner. Here in Sherwood Park for months and months they found community, they found safety, and now the city wants to put them at risk by kicking them out of this park. All to serve the rodeo.
One second.
Right, without viable alternatives. Without viable alternatives.
Right.
So what are you asking the city?
We're asking the city to rescind their decision to begin strict enforcement of the ordinance with regard to being in the parks. We want them to rescind that order.
So they're saying they could be arrested?
They are saying, yes they are, it's right there in their notice, that if people remain in this park after July 10th, or beginning July 10th, they will be subject to arrest.
And taking their property and everything?
If you're arrested, your property can be seized incident to that arrest. We've already had people's property taken here. In most cases, there's no way to retrieve that property once it's taken. And once they kick people out of here and they'd be on the street, it'd be even more difficult for people to hold on to their property. They expect people to walk around like pack animals, carrying everything they own on their backs. When here they at least have a place to have their possessions, have a community to look after those possessions. We've already had personal items, mementos, medicines, things of a highly important, great importance. Medicines, family photographs, keepsakes have been destroyed by the city already.
How many people live here approximately?
About 50.
Majority men, like 20.
There are
half and
men.
half?
There are men. It's mostly women. What do you say, Wes? How many people here? About 50?
About 50, yeah.
Yes, about 50 people here. The majority of people living in this park, and we know most of them are members of the homeless union, are from Salinas. They spent their lives working. Farm workers, construction workers. We have people here with college degrees. We have people here who got hurt and injured on the job.
But the message is that you guys, I mean, they're not moving from here after July 10th. They're not moving. They're going to be moving.
That's up
from
to
here.
the people here, whether they're going to simply refuse to go and face whatever sanction that might be, or whether they have no choice but to leave. That's up to the people here in the park. That's up to the members of the homeless union.
Is there any legal action that you're planning to take against the city because of this?
What we're planning to do is monitor very closely what the city does, and as I said earlier, if there's any harm that befalls anyone evicted from this park, we're going to hold the city strictly liable for it, because we feel what's happening here is what they call a state-created danger. They're moving people from a position of relative safety here in the park, where they have a community where people are cooperating and looking after each other. They're going to put them into a more dangerous position out on the streets, sidewalks, freeway overpasses, where they could be run over by cars, they could be sexually assaulted, they could have their possessions taken. They can't be in their tents because the tents would obstruct the public right of way. Therefore, they're at more risk for hypothermia. They're more at risk for health issues. Any harm, any increased harm that happens to these people here as a result of what the city does, intends to do on July 10th, we're going to hold the city liable.
Perfect. Thank you, Anthony. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Adrian. It's good to
Thank
see you
Good to
again.
see you too.